Hello and welcome to another Matlab tutorial. In this tutorial I'll describe the usage of for and while cycles while giving examples. So I'll use a script for this example and I'll write a program that counts from 1 to 5. So if I wanted to do that using a for cycle, I'd write such a program. So for and this should be the syntax to use a for cycle. And for example, here I have to write a vector. So it will do a for cycle from I equals 1 to 5. And here I'll just put an informative message on the command window. So disp, and I'll concatenate two strings here. So, and I'll write cycle number, and here I'll have to use the command to string to make a string I. So let's save the script and let's run it. And when I run the script, as you can see, it says cycle number and whatever is the current value of I. So for example, I'll make a breakpoint here so you can understand it better. I'll run the script and it is now stopped on the breakpoint, and if I go and check the value of the variable I, it currently has the value 1. If I let it go to the other cycle, it now has the value 2. So essentially you should use the for cycle when the number of cycles you want to perform is known. If I wanted to do the same using a while cycle, for now I'll just comment this because I'll be coming back to this later. If I wanted to do the same with a while cycle, I'd write while and this is the syntax you should use to do a while cycle. And essentially the while cycle is done as, so while, and then you write a condition here, and while this condition is true, it will keep the cycle going. So if I wanted to do the same, I'll write I less than 5, and I'll start with I equals to 0, and when it enters the cycle, I'll increment I, and I'll use the exact same code here. So if I run this code again, it types the exact same thing. And let's see the inner workings of the cycle again using a breakpoint. I'll run it again. So it is now stopped here. I is still valued 0, but when it comes to another cycle, because I was still less than 5, I will now be equal to 1, and then 2, and then 3, and then 4, and now on the next cycle I will be equal to 5. So I'll just do one step. Now I is equal to 5, and 5 is not less than 5, so it will get out of the cycle. As you can see, it is now stopping the program, and the program has finished. So essentially you can use a while cycle when the number of cycles you want to perform is not known. However, you can run into problems where the while cycle won't finish. For example, if I just said while true, so true is always a true condition. If I run the program again, you'll see that this program won't finish because this is always true and it will be stuck forever in this while cycle. And as you can see in the command window, the number of I will not stop increasing. So I'll have to manually stop it. You can use the command Ctrl+C to stop a never-ending cycle or a never-ending program, or you want to stop a program for some reason. So I'll clear the screen again. There is a way to prevent this. So let's say I want the program to do the exact same thing while keeping the true here. I can write if I is larger than 4, and break cycle if such condition happens. So essentially when I is equal to 5, it will come into the if condition and it will break the cycle. So the break command is very useful for this reason. You can always break a while cycle or a for cycle. I'll show that example later if you use the break command in such a condition. So let's save the program and run it again. And as you can see, it does the exact same thing. So the exact same 5 cycles, despite the condition that's here is always true. I'll demonstrate this now for the for cycle. So I'll comment this and uncomment this. As you can see, we've got the first program, a much simpler one. But now let's say I want to break it. So if I is less than 4, larger than 4, and break. So when I reaches 5, it should break it. So I'll put a 6 here to differentiate that I won't reach the value 6. So I'll run it again, and the exact same thing should happen. So it should go to cycle number 5. However, it should not reach the value I equals 6. As you can see, it indeed shows that the program goes to cycle number 5. And this can be seen here. The value I only reached 5 and not 6, as in the limits. Another thing I'll demonstrate using for cycles is that you can use a for cycle inside a for cycle. So I'll comment this part again, and I'll make another example, and I'll write for I equals 1, 2, 3. And this will be our first for cycle. And inside this for cycle, I write for j equals 1, 2, 4. And I'll make a display here again on the screen, disp. And I'll concatenate two values once again. So num to string. And I'll put a space in between them, and j. So when I run this program, it should display in the common window for each cycle, which will be in total 3 times 4 cycles. In the first element, it should display me the current value for I, and in the second element, the current value for j. So let's run it, and as you can see, this has 12 lines, and there are 4 displays of I equal to 1, because we are running for j equals 1 to 4, and while this cycle is active, I is always equal to 1 in the first cycle, then 2, and then 3, and for each I cycle, so for each of these, j will be equal to 1, 2, 3, and 4. I wanted to show this because this is usually very useful to work with matrix. This is everything I wanted to talk about for the for and while cycles. Thank you very much for watching this tutorial, and hopefully I'll see you in another one.